Kevin, thanks for being here.
Kevin, can you hear us? He might have just logged in to make us feel good, and then now he's like doing laundry.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it.
Let me see if you can hear us. Can you hear us? Let me spell it right. I'm sure people are going to love the fact this is on a cardboard box and like shakes every time. Oh, sweet. Holy crap. We actually have people.
Fantastic.
Where's everybody from?
Hi, everybody.
There's 3 people.
That's 3 times. 5. That's 5 times more than we expected.
Shakes because it's on a cardboard box. Sorry.
This is a
you know what? It's when I hit the table.
Oh, yeah.
We got to keep our elbows up.
This is an elaborate setup.
It is.
Very elaborate.
It's on an Amazon Prime box.
Only the finest box will do.
Michigan. Sweet.
Almost Michigan. That is a great name for an album or a band.
Oh, it's Almont. That's the adult beverage. That's you didn't read it. Look.
Oh, Almont.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it said almost.
So cool. Oh, cool. Well, that's because we're using an external microphone.
That we are.
I should probably
plug that back in.
Well done. I did. Let me get Facebook going. See if this will work. We're going to try to live stream 2 things at once and not shake the table.
Wish us luck.
How do I do this?
That's a good question. If any of you have any questions, by the way, you can just put them in the chat and we'll maybe try to address them, or who knows how this conversation is going to go.
Start live video. Let me see if I can make this work. I'm going to go around here, Jim.
How do you see who all is here? Oh, there's 8 people watching. We have 8 people. Wow. That's amazing.
Start live video.
Thank you all very much for coming to our very first live stream of the Bissell Maple Farm YouTube channel. We're very excited to have you. We're hoping that this goes smoothly. And we were just trying to get things set up so that we'd be ready at 9 o'clock.
Hey, it's working.
It's working. We're on Facebook as well. We have 10 viewers.
Wow.
I know.
I got the TV on.
So we have 1 person from Michigan. Where else are you all from?
You got to get the bourbon out of the shot.
All right. Kevin's at church. Jefferson, Ohio.
What? Oh, Mitch.
Where's
Cutting
Mitch?
board winner.
New Hampshire. That's where I was born, Manchester.
Get out of here. This is cool. 11 people.
Sharpsville. Fantastic. Where we are right now.
Matt, I think he was like the 3rd subscriber we ever had.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate it.
I had to convince Matt to just like make comments because he'd text me about every video.
Yeah.
There's people that text me and I'm like, oh man, if you would put it in the video. Yeah. I always answer.
Put the comments on there. And then we can engage you and other people in conversation.
This is cool.
This is very cool.
I wasn't sure we could do with this.
I'm not sure what to do with this, man.
Me either. Now, if you're on Facebook, I'm sorry. We are kind of YouTube centric.
Hi, sorry.
So there are people that are watching from Facebook, but I can't see your comments because it's on my phone and you're spun around.
So if you're on Facebook and you want to jump on the YouTube,
we can
see your comments. But I'll try to look over your way every now and then.
Cool.
Pittsburgh. Nice.
Pittsburgh, that's New Hampshire. There's no H.
Oh, again, I'm doing a great job. I read almost Michigan and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yay, no. New Hampshire.
12 people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is exactly 11 more people than 12 more people than we expected.
There's Mark Williamson. He's another cutting board winner.
New York. Hi, Mark. Thank you for being here.
So it might actually get a little bit loud. And at some point, there may be like one of my sons will like walk in the background to get food. He'll probably won't even have a shirt on.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's
house full of boys.
That's to be expected.
So 13. This is cool.
This is cool.
I better get the questions. I got them written down.
Yeah, you've got all the questions written down. I'm ready to answer all of them, I'm sure.
You're probably like, who's this guy?
So I'm Jacob. Hi. I'm the guy that edits the videos.
Yep. You can always tell which one I edit and which one Jacob edits. How can they really tell?
You can tell from the music.
The music for sure.
And how the music lines up with the video.
I don't have the rhythm.
I don't know. There are some other differences between the way I cut from shot to shot. But I don't know if I can really put my finger on it or name it.
And I started to copy your style too because I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I don't want people to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, we want it to be as homogenous as possible, as consistent as possible. Cool. Thank you, Dave, for joining from Ontario so that we didn't have only 13.
We have 15 people.
You're such a considerate guy. We appreciate it.
I mean, numbers-wise, this is good because there's guys with 150,000 subscribers. They get 200 people. So if you extrapolate.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal. Thank you so much for spending a Thursday evening with us.
How many gallons did you guys produce this year down there? We only made about 1,700 gallons. I think 1,750 gallons. We purchase a lot more syrup there. Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Yeah.
So glad to have you from Texas.
There's like a Bissell Facebook page of all the descendants of Captain John Bissell. And they started to like all these Bissells from all over the country started watching our YouTube channel and put us in like a Facebook type group.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they order products.
Thanks, Bissells.
Yeah, they're waiting for some Bissell shirts to come out.
Levi
3 gallons of walnut syrup. That's $900 according to Dan Reed.
Ooh.
Walnut syrup. Hey, there's Samantha. She made us treats.
Hello, wife.
What did I just eat?
You had the blondie. You had the blondie with the maple. Now I'm really self-conscious because my wife was watching.
Yeah. Oh, my wife will pick me apart. This is going to be on there. So let's get started. We're trying to catch up with questions as they go through.
Yeah.
But I think the questions are, who are you? And what do you do? Who is Jacob Moon?
Who are you and what are you doing here? Well, hi, I'm Jacob Moon. I'm a father. I'm a husband. My wife is on here. I have 2 kids, Levi and Ezra. I'm a music teacher by day. That's my trade. I teach music over at Sharpsville Elementary School. I teach grades K through 6. And I'm a soccer coach and now a YouTube video editor. I got roped into this thing by Nathan. I think this is probably one of your other questions, but
Yeah.
I got roped in October because Nathan's wife works with me. Kathy Jo is a first grade teacher, and I have the pleasure of working with her over at Sharpsville. And so I was making some videos for the school, and Nathan was looking for someone that could help him out. And Kathy Jo suggested me, and that's how this came to be.
Yeah. So the first episode, I think Shane, high school buddy, he took some footage that my brother-in-law made and made episode 1, but 2 through 50 has been you and I.
Yep.
And Jacob and I had a plan on the 50th episode to do like a Q&A, but we decided to just do it live. So hi, Bob. I see Bob there.
Hi, Bob.
David from Ohio State. Sweet.
David's saying that we've got better sound on YouTube than on Facebook.
Is it crackly on Facebook, David? Like, is it like scratchy? I'll bet you this. Let me try this. Maybe take this off altogether.
See if that helps.
Yeah, that might help Facebook folks.
Take that microphone off.
I just unplugged it.
That works.
Let me check. So David was our Ohio State Extension officer in Ashtabula County.
Oh, nice.
Now he's in Coshocton.
Thanks,
Cool.
David.
Cool. So, yeah, I took that external microphone off, and it seems to work.
Beautiful.
Sorry when I bumped the table.
That's going to happen. If you weren't here when we discussed it, the computer is delicately balanced on an Amazon box.
Amazon Prime.
Only the best.
My wife, I think, is responsible for the the corporate headquarters. Like I think she single-handedly has put the revenue in.
Nice.
To make Facebook's new corporate headquarters.
Nice.
So, why are you editing videos for a maple syrup farm?
Because of Kathy Joe.
That's fair.
That's the truth. I'm editing videos for a maple farm because of Kathy Joe, and it's been a very educative experience because before October of last year, I absolutely knew nothing about maple syrup. I had your product before because your boys deliver maple syrup to me for Christmas, which just pleases my heart every year. But I knew absolutely nothing about how maple syrup got produced or anything like that. So it's been a wild bunch of months, however many months it's been. I'm not going to do the math.
It's a good thing, though. I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot, like about the maple industry. Like I'll make all this footage and something that I think is really important. I'll be like, Jacob, why didn't you put that in there? And you're like, no, it sucks.
It doesn't make
I rolled that rock uphill for 4 hours. You're not going to put it. No, they don't want to watch that. So yeah, but it's healthy. Like, yeah, it's healthy. Like I will put the energy in, and there's a lot of footage that you watch.
There's a lot of footage that I watch.
Hours.
8 usually.
What would you want our viewers to know? The audience that watches our channel. What would you want them to know about the Bissells that they can't see on YouTube?
Oh, wow.
That's a really good one.
That is a good one. You've seen a lot of Nathan. You haven't seen a whole lot of Jonathan, Jared, and Benjamin, and you've seen almost nothing of Kathy Joe.
True.
There was one video that we did a little while ago where Kathy Joe and Nathan went on a trip together, and I edited a lot of that out because,
it was the first time.
It was the first time. Yeah. So what would I want you to know about them? They're lovely people. They really are. And the way that Nathan comes off on the videos, at least to me, is the same way that he is in person. There's really not any difference there. The boys are smart, funny, athletic, tremendous children, excellent in music class, I might add. And Kathy Joe is just a wonderful human being. She spends a lot of time with me at school, and we just laugh and have a good time. And I guess if I could let our audience know anything, it's that what you see on this channel is authentic. It's real. These are real human beings. They're not putting forth a face in order to, garner more customers or views or anything like that. This is who they really are.
Cool. I like that.
Thanks.
Oh, look, we got a good question. I see Matt from Burton, Ohio. I heard they make some maple syrup in Burton.
Nice.
I heard they make a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Look at it. Seldom's Cabins on here. Seldom Seen Farm.
That is a great name for a farm.
It is. It is.
It's almost as good as oh shoot, I missed it. Almost Michigan.
Does Nate film enough, or could he film more? You never know. Content could be anywhere.
He films plenty.
Yeah.
So for these days, for a 30-minute video, I'm getting somewhere around 8+ hours worth of footage.
It's true.
It's a lot of footage.
It's
and
true.
I'm working on a MacBook Pro. And when I first started editing videos for him, I noticed that I ran out of storage space really fast. And I had to learn how to clear the cache on my computer and get rid of all of the space that was taken up by rendering files. But I was just blown away by the amount of gigs. Oh, I forgot to bring that hard drive to you.
Oh, no worries.
But it's a massive amount of footage. So no, Nathan gives me plenty.
Too much, really.
For the video that we're doing this upcoming weekend, based off of what I downloaded last night, it's only an hour and a half of footage. And that is a very small amount of footage compared to what I've received in the past. That was
awesome. Jeff's on here.
Hi, Jeff. We're doing great, Jeff. Thank you for asking.
That's awesome. 20 people. I thought it would be like your mom, my mom.
This is too late.
Samantha just poking us a little bit.
This is too late for my mother.
So Samantha had one of the best lines. Something like, you see entirely too much of that man's face or something.
I spend every night looking at Nathan's face. Quite literally every night.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of footage. I think we filled 2 terabytes so far.
Oh yeah.
We're almost at 2 terabytes of footage.
And at the very beginning, we were talking a lot about how we were going to handle storage. So you were giving me a hard drive, or Kathy Jo was delivering me a hard drive at the school. And then we decided to just buy more storage space on the Google Drive.
That's worked out well.
It's worked out very well, because that's one of the hurdles that I didn't anticipate, was how do we get all of this data? I mean, when you take a video, that's an insane amount of data. How do you get that from one person to another person in an efficient manner? And then what I really like is, I feel like the way that we've developed it has been organized in a way that when I put something on there, you know it. When you put something on there, I know it, and we can get things done efficiently.
And it's not uncommon. I was open about this, and I talk to Jacob all the time when I do footage. If I accidentally burp or something, I'm like, sorry, Jacob. It happens.
Those are some of my favorite moments, are the moments when he's talking directly to me, especially when he's doing like B-roll.
Yeah.
Or you'll say things like, Jacob's not going to like this, or something like that.
Do that, but you don't ever put it in there.
I don't. There was one bit that I knew that you didn't want me to put into a video that I put in there.
That was the part where I was crawling.
Where you were crawling out of the back of that truck.
It turned out to be our actually most popular video.
Yeah.
Episode 27 by far with Dan Reed has been our most. It's just a straight increase.
Yeah. It was a good video.
Incline.
Yeah. It's a really good video.
Have I tried birch syrup? I have. I've tried birch syrup. Georgia Mountain Maples makes birch syrup. The problem is I already have a preconceived notion of what maple syrup should taste like. So when I taste maple syrup, I then go to birch. Now, Dan Reed makes black walnut syrup. He's in Wisconsin, and it's actually, for me, similar enough to maple. It's more floral flavored, but it's really good.
We got a question from Kevin. Kevin, I'm using iMovie. I don't know if anyone saw the question there, but he was asking, he was using Premiere Pro. And to be honest with you, I'm using iMovie. Eventually, I'm going to go to, what's it called? The music version is Logic, and then the video version is called.
Is it an Apple product?
Yeah, it's an Apple product. But honestly, I'm using iMovie right now, and it does everything. Someone's going to put it in the comments and make me feel like a fool. But yeah, iMovie has been working just fine for me. And basically, since it's already on there and it does everything that I need it to do, I haven't needed to move to anything else yet. I do the best that I can to try to make it not look like iMovie. Final Cut, there it is. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, Final Cut. And I do want to go to Final Cut eventually. But for right now, iMovie does what I need it to do, because we're not doing anything terribly fancy. And the nice thing about what you're doing on a Maple channel versus like producing some major motion picture is it's okay to be a little bit rough around the edges. So iMovie does the job for me. And I've noticed recently that I'm getting a lot faster at it. And so to me, the most important part of it is just the workflow, making sure that you can work quickly and efficiently. And if you can do that, then it works for you.
Yeah, there is. I know Jeff has a channel. Kevin has a channel.
Mm-hmm.
There are creators that are on the live stream here, and I don't bother you that much because you already see enough footage, and I have to talk about YouTube with people. So I call Kevin often, and we just complain, or I complain about what the heck does YouTube want? I don't understand. Once you think you have it figured out, it doesn't work. And, some of my best conversations was with Nikki Boxler about YouTube and how it worked. And, she's got the most popular Maple YouTube channel. It's not even close. But the conversations with her were, it was eye-opening on how much work she puts in. And we're a long way from, being something. But one of my fears is we almost were. When you watch a channel, like I remember watching Outdoors with the Morgans, and it was kind of what kind of drove me to do this. His early stuff was grainy, wasn't perfect, but I watched.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that when we started off, like you had experience already, and we really, I went out and got some decent cameras. I don't even use them. I use my phone for almost everything. I use 2 phones. But when I first started, I was afraid it was like too polished.
Yeah.
That it almost seemed like we were producing professional videos. And I was afraid people would be like, these guys are,
right.
Almost not home movie enough.
Yeah. Fake or whatever, overly produced. That's the nice thing about getting an amateur to do the work for you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people want to see perfect.
No.
So there's some questions I know we missed.
Oh boy.
Birch syrup. I'm using Premiere Pro. You answered his question.
Yep, that was Kevin.
Matt has a question about the music. I really enjoy the music that we use in videos. Is it available anywhere?
Yeah, it is.
We actually pay royalties on it. Like when we get a music that we like, and we have similar but different styles of music that we like. He's a professional musician. I'm an amateur, but we both kind of like similar music. Like what was happening the other night? I'm like, what'd you think of that song? And you already had it in there.
Oh yeah.
Like we both were thinking it was for the New Brunswick video, the Hargroves. Like you picked the same song that I would have picked for the intro.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Most of what we're using is Epidemic. And what was the other one that we used for a little while that we got some stuff from?
Epidemic, Pond 5.
Pond 5, that's right. Pond 5.
Yeah.
Whenever you listen to their
with a watermark in it.
Pond 5.
Yeah,
I love that.
She's gonna love that. They just pulled in from a baseball game.
Oh, hey. But I love the stuff on Epidemic. I think it's very well produced. And Nathan has like a bunch of songs that he's purchased, and they're all on the Google Drive. And then I go through them and try to find which one matches the vibe of what we're doing. So is this like a fast song for a time lapse, or is it a kind of a hard man's working song, or is it something a little bit lighter, or is it something more meditative? That's the stuff that I enjoy doing.
They should just come in.
Good job sneaking in, Jared. You're doing great.
It's all picked up. What else? Somebody was asking about the vacuum pump. Yeah, actually, Jacob and I were just going over footage of the bottling line running. I am excited about the sawmill. It's not really maple related per se, but I'm excited about the sawmill. It is as fun. It was better than I thought it would be. But I have to tell you, the sawmill is kind of like the equivalent of running a 2x6 evaporator.
Huh.
It's just, it's a lot of work for the effort, but I'm enjoying it. But I've never we've never done a video on the bottling line run. So I started taking some footage I'm really going to show how our bottling line's set up. Like we're all about transparency, and there's nothing that I don't hardly have anything to hide. So it'd be cool for people to see what, an actual, it's not high speed, but it's pretty dang fast.
It's cool footage.
Hi, honey.
I just watched it. Kathy Joe is over there. See,
this is actually live.
We're being very transparent.
So somebody said,
other questions?
My 11-year-old cousin got 2,000 to 5,000 views on his YouTube shorts just setting off fireworks. I believe it. Shorts are interesting. They certainly get the most views. Then I see Samantha's asking questions.
Yeah.
They get a ton of views, but they're like one-time viewers. Most of the time, like if we do something that's just entertaining, YouTube's really pushing it because it competes with TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
And they're just different viewers. We have a ton of people. When we first started doing this, your videos are too long. My own mom was like, your videos are too long. I'm like, Mom, don't watch them.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying the videos are too long, it's cool.
Yeah.
But when we started making longer videos, remember, I'm giving him 8 hours and he's cutting it down to 30 minutes or 20 minutes. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Different camera angle, all sorts of things. So he's going from 8 hours to 30, 20 minutes. But that's when it really started taking off, when we showed longer videos.
And we got advice from Tom Hawes over at Concrete with the Hawes. And I was surprised by what he said, but it made a lot of sense. He was talking about how on general, viewers are going to watch about a third of your video. So if you do a 24-minute video, then your average is going to be 8 minutes. If you do a 21-minute video, then your average is going to be 7 minutes, and it just continues downward from there. So once we, like Nathan said, once we started making longer videos, we saw the impact of it, and the average viewer retention has gone up. And one of the things that I've enjoyed about this is everything is very data driven, which makes my educator heart happy. But everything is, done with numbers in mind. We're not just like shooting from the hip, but we're looking at what our viewers actually enjoy and what actually works, and trying our best to put out a product that everyone's going to respond to.
Viewers really like when we go to sugar houses.
Yes.
I know you do too, because
I do
none
too.
of them they're so unique, and that's one of the cool things I get to do is travel around. But I think when you first meet somebody, it takes some time to build rapport because they don't know what your motives are. But it is to highlight people's sugar houses. And I think you could tell if there's some familiarity with somebody. It's hard to show up and be like, hey, I'm going to film you. Like, nobody, and I don't blame them. I don't push it. But yeah, so that's one of the things that we're trying to do is do more of those.
Yeah.
I'm excited about doing more of those.
It's neat meeting other people. And that's been, I think, my favorite thing has been seeing all these people. The difficult thing is when I see them in real life, they don't know who I am, but I know who they are.
That's true.
Like whenever we went to, what's it called? When you do the pancake breakfast.
Oh, the Maple
Madness tour. And I went over and I introduced myself to Kevin and Austin and everybody. And it's just, I see them, I get to know them. And that's one of the things that I really like about YouTube is it's a way to develop relationships. So when you go and you check out other people's operations, you get to know a little bit about how people do things, especially in different parts of the country, even going down to like what words they use for certain operations or for certain things that they do. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's if you're on a mobile device, in order to like a live video, you actually have to like X out of the chat, like it, log out, come back in. It's kind of a cumbersome thing.
It is cumbersome.
But it does help us. So watching videos helps us.
You have 9 likes. Half the people watching this like it.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
It is kind of interesting getting one side of this. I think my wife and your wife are just laughing at us.
That's good. And Jeff, I appreciate your post. I'm glad that you like the production. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, like it's interesting. We've never done an episode about it, but at one point we were being evaluated for what was it called? What do you call those? A reality show. And when we were looking at this, it was kind of an exciting time. I was a big fan of Gold Rush, and we had a pretty good relationship with a family out of Butler that had a reality show, country music television, getting to know Joe a little bit. And he was so honest. And there was a producer that had interviewed us, came out to the Sugar House. This is going back 7, 8 years. And Fred, everybody, we were so excited. It's like, we're going to get a reality show. This is really going to help the maple industry. And, one of the nice things about being from Ohio is you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. And it would have been good for the maple industry. And she got through interviewing everybody. And the problem was, she said at the end, she goes, we love you guys, but you're just too normal. Because everybody was on their best behavior. Fred, who's never on good behavior, everybody was like dappered up, like cologne, perfume. Like I remember, like, who are you? They didn't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
You have a producer there they didn't want to mess it up for us, but that in turn is what actually messed it up. And it's a blessing. I remember talking to Joe, he just said, it's not worth it. Like, it's so hard on you. Yeah. It's so hard on your family, and they just want drama, and they induce drama. And now with YouTube, we're almost too weird. Like, now we're too weird. What I find is the most successful YouTube channels are so consistent that, they're so consistent that I don't know, like they're just the same. And it's exactly what you want. It's like, you don't go to McDonald's because it's going to be this great meal. It's exactly what you know it's going to be.
Yeah.
And humans want consistency. So we've been talking about the Sawmill, and we're getting a ton of new viewers from Sawmill, and we're building a new audience. because the maple audience, there's a ton of traffic during maple season, but there's so much more we can do with maple.
There's different seasons, and I don't know, when we get back to maple season, it was really exciting to see we got a lot of viewership this last maple season. We'll see what that looks like again next year.
Yeah.
But I feel like that maple season window is pretty narrow.
It is.
Like it's a lot more narrow. It's one of the many things I've learned about maple, but it's a much narrower window of like when the sap is running and when it gets produced. It happens really quickly.
I'm going to go to some more questions for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this.
What is your favorite episode and why?
Okay. So I've been ruminating on this a lot. My first love is episode number 2. The abandoned snowmobile is my first love.
That was the first one you did.
It was the first one that I did. And I just loved the way that it was structured. And I don't know if we've had a video like it since then, because it was really a 3-act play. And I don't know if we've had the same sort of 3-act structure since then, but it was just, I don't know. I was excited and fresh and ready to try, my creative muscles on it. And I really enjoyed that. Favorite bits from other episodes, like I was mentioning earlier, I love when, you're chatting with Kevin or Austin or Fred or any of the many characters at Bissell Maple Farm. My favorite line was when Austin asked or said something about it's been blent.
Yeah, it's been blent.
It's been blent.
Somebody even mentioned in the comments that they really like the interaction between Austin and I.
It's really great. And from the editing point of view,
you see a lot more.
I see a lot more. So I see things that it's like, that's funny, but we can't put that out on the channel. That doesn't work. That doesn't fly.
Yeah, Austin's back from Alaska. He did guided brown bear hunts.
That sounds awesome.
And
I want to do a guided brown bear hunt.
Right. So he's back, which is nice. So upcoming, we have a big project with a property we own that we have been cutting down some black walnut trees, and I'm kind of excited. It's been, there's probably 5 episodes worth of footage.
Yep.
Of getting the black walnut because we want to take. Look at your wife's calling you out. I'm gonna ban her. Hold on, I want to ban her.
I know that I don't hunt deer, but I just want to go see the bears.
Right.
I want to see the bears with Austin.
Fred has a goal. He wants to see a black bear in real life. He hasn't. So when we go up to Maine, we're gonna have to do that.
I can't remember what bear I saw in real life.
I've seen a black bear.
Can't remember if it was a black or brown bear.
So Texas hot lunch. That's funny. Somebody said they really liked when we included pictures of the sugar houses. I love that.
That was awesome.
That was an idea that Mike Morgan, I kind of took that from Outdoors with the Morgans, because he asked for pictures of people's tractors, and Kevin got his tractor picture on there.
Yeah.
And I like that, how he got his community involved with this channel. And I realized that that's what we all have in common. We have this unique maple operation. I don't care what it is. They're all unique. And I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
There's no doubt I'm going to do that again.
Well, the thing I liked about that is I think it fits with the goal of the channel. And I think the goal of the channel, from what I see, is to create a community around maple syrup.
It's true.
And when you see other people, with the same passion and the same drive that you have, trying to create the best product that they can out of the trees in their backyard or on their property or whatever, I think that's something to be really proud of. And that's something that's really exciting.
Yeah. I'm collaboration. That's really what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is a lot of work, but collaboration with people. So another question. So you talked a little bit about favorite episode.
Yep.
You've worked with me for about 6 months. We've known each other for a little while, but you've worked with me. Is this what you thought it would be? It's different.
Yeah, yes and no.
I'm interested.
I think it's gone smoothly. And I certainly was not apprehensive, but cautious at first, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I am surprised actually by how smoothly it's gone. I think that we've worked well together.
That's true.
I think that
There's trust.
There's trust.
There's trust. Like I let go.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard. Like, I'm like, okay, you're right. And I just trusted. I had to. Like, I can't do everything.
Right.
It's hard to be a father, husband, coach Little League, run a company and then take footage and then try to edit. Like this doesn't happen without Jacob. So I had to just trust, and it's worked out well. We were just talking about how the first 25 episodes seem to take forever.
Yeah.
They're so hard.
They seem to
the
be
last
flying.
25 have flown by.
And I really have felt like that autonomy, that creative autonomy to do what I think is right. And then that's always supported. Like anytime that I create something and I bring it to Nathan and I feel like, I believe in this. I've never been told no.
Right.
I've always
sometimes I'm like, hey, we got to take this out because they asked that we not put that in.
That's easy.
Yeah,
that's a piece of cake.
Editing things out, like when we do footage, sometimes people ask that certain parts not be put in, and we always honor that.
Yeah,
it would not make sense for me to come into your sugar house and show the world something. Like you will always see it before it's ever published.
Right.
I think it needs to be put out there in evergreen content so people know we're never going to burn you.
Right.
We do it's by accident. We'll apologize, but you get to watch it before it ever goes out.
We send the videos out to the people that gave us the footage before we put it on YouTube.
T-Han 141 Homestead.
Hey,
wonder where he's at.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping in for a minute.
Thanks for stopping in for a minute.
We appreciate it. For a lovely evening chat.
Right. This is awesome. Like it's 36 minutes. I figure we'll just go for 24 minutes more. If you are if you're on Facebook Live, I apologize. I don't know if there's comments, but if you come over to YouTube,
come to the dark side.
Come to YouTube. There's much more interaction. So some of you could click on the link and go to the YouTube side if you'd like. Are you watching the Facebook side, honey? Are people saying things? Are you mocking me behind my back? She's saying that with a smirk.
First year of making syrup.
2.5 gallons of maple syrup in your first year is a lot of work.
Wow.
It's a lot of work. Did you boil it in the house? That's my first question for people in my first year. Did you boil it on your stove? That's usually how the wallpaper comes off.
Probably didn't buy an evaporator.
No, the only thing on Facebook I see is your cousin Mitchell. He's watching.
All right, Mitchell.
Hi, Mitchell.
Mitchell,
Hi, Mitchell.
Come to YouTube. It's way better.
Thanks, Mitchell. We appreciate
Mitchell's always. Mitchell was there helping me at the farm before we ever put an addition on that sugar shack.
Would Kathy Joe make an appearance on the first live ever?
That's a good question.
That is yet to be seen. The question has been put out into the universe, and Kathy Joe is within earshot.
She said this.
That's a negatory. That's a no.
She gave a thumbs down.
That's okay.
What do they want to see? I'll say sure.
You coming to say hi?
Come say hello.
And it'll forever be on the internet.
We have showcased you so little on this channel, and you really deserve to be a star.
Yeah, this doesn't happen. I mean, look at our kitchen. I don't have any light
I know,
fixtures.
I brought that up.
No light fixtures.
Hello.
Did you see the baked goods?
I did not. Oh, I did.
My wife makes baked goods. They're very good. Thanks, honey.
She made an appearance just for you. You requested, and there you go.
Ask and you shall receive.
Samantha saying hi.
Oh, that's
And
very
now
sweet.
I get a cookie.
Yep.
Yes, you do get a cookie. I strongly recommend the blondies.
Thank you. I'm going to take one in for Jared.
There's one for everyone.
Well, there's everything.
I know. Also, try the focaccia. It's incredible.
What?
Seriously?
Here's another question for Jacob.
Hi.
I don't know. You kind of brushed on this, but what is the hardest thing about working with me? You know,
Do you want to answer that, Kathy Joe? I don't know. Like, I thought about this, and I don't know if I can give an answer for what's the hardest thing about working with you in particular, because this is my first time working with someone in this relationship. So I have nothing to compare it to. But I think the hardest thing is just the amount of footage. And in order to make an episode with good shots, and Nathan, you've worked really hard to try to get better shots as this channel has grown. But in order to get the really good shots, it takes a lot of footage. It takes a lot of time. And so I really do spend just about every single evening for a couple of hours looking over footage and watching lots and lots of Nathan's face. And that's probably the most challenging thing, is just that I've had to learn how to pace myself. And I've been learning how to like skim through the videos to find out what I need to find out about the video, to try to streamline that process. The things that I think are real strengths are, and I mentioned this before, but the organization has made my heart very happy. And Nathan really tries to make everything as organized as possible. He, puts the videos on the Google Drive, and then he tries to, number one, he puts them in folders. So I know what came from the Alpha camera, what came from a Beta camera, what came from a GoPro, whenever you use it, what came from the Canon. And then what I do when I start an episode is I use all of the Alpha footage first, and then I put the Beta footage or the GoPro footage in there as needed. And then he labels almost every single video with,
Try to put it in order.
some sort of, it tries to put it in chronological order, tries to label it, tries to tell me what's important. The first time you labeled something as the meat, I was very confused.
Oh, yeah.
But whenever something's super important, he labels it meat. And then I can't remember what episode, but you labeled something double meat.
And then sometimes you do meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
It's important. Yeah.
But as far as like the things that I think have gone very smoothly with this channel is the communication aspect and the organization aspect has made things run very smoothly. And then I love that, I can text you literally anytime.
Yeah.
Or you'll just call me.
Most of the time what Jacob does is he edits like till the wee hours, like starts Saturday night into the wee hours of the morning. And then he'll send the video uploaded. And then I'll get up about 3 a.m. Sunday and I will upload it and then add some things. Hey, there's Jared.
Hi, Jared.
That's awesome. He's a new father. Congrats to Jared.
Congratulations,
And he's got a
Jared.
great channel and he's done some creative shots. I'm like, wow. I was texting Jared about his thumbnail the other day. It's like, how do you do this? Like, what kind of camera are you using?
Huh.
And some of the shots with he's motivating me. Jared is he's motivating me to do more. So if you haven't checked out Jared's channel, definitely do that. He's got some cool things, definitely homesteading. So I see a comment. There's 2 of them. Are there going to be another 50 episode? Or are you guys going to continue on YouTube? I think so.
Yeah.
We're just getting going.
We haven't even been on here for a year. I mean, since we really started in earnest, we haven't even been on here for a year. We've started
6 months.
Started in October. So
And
it's
Eldon,
incredible.
Eldon is a GE guy from working at the GE plant. He and I met through Scott Swift at the GE transportation plant in Erie. And his wife, Bree, they came and did a tour at the sugar house with my parents. And they've been kind of following us for a while. But I do go to Portland, Oregon sometimes. My friend John now lives in Bend. So my son Jonathan is named after Jonathan.
Oh.
And I will be back out there. We do sell some maple syrup out in the Seattle, Portland area.
Nice.
In the Pacific Northwest. There are maple trees. There are people out there making maple syrup, actually.
And I will enjoy editing that video because I like editing the travel.
The travels.
videos.
Yeah.
They are fun.
I do really. I wish I would have started this 10 years ago because we'd be at 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Just the adventures and the heartache and all of the, things about owning a business and getting over my crap and, the different awesome people we've had through our business.
Yeah.
That are there today. Just the stories, I miss all of them. Like they're all a part of our story to get us where we are.
Yeah.
Big leaf maple. Like these states got like $500,000, $500,000 to their extensions, to their universities, their land grants have gotten money to investigate the maple industry. And I'm like, $500,000 to investigate maple in Washington State and Oregon. And it's a lot of investment. I mean, they won't, I'm not trying to be mean, but they won't make that much syrup in like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But if they can, great. But there's just not the weather, not the climate. I haven't tried it yet. Yeah, 101 ratio with the big leaf. It's cool. I would love to go out there and tour one.
Yeah.
and see if how viable it is.
Hmm.
Oh, there's Scott.
There's done.
Do you guys make maple? What a smart aleck. Scott just asked,
Hi, Scott.
do you guys make maple syrup?
They
I don't know. Do they make syrup in Maine? Do they make syrup in Maine? Are you at the fire station tonight, or are you home?
Re-asking Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Is Scott in Maine?
He is.
Maine is my eldest son's favorite state. He's never been, but he did a 5th grade project on it, and he's obsessed with Maine now. So if we ever go up to Maine, we're going to come see you, Scott.
Absolutely. It's working like usual.
It's working like usual.
That guy hustles. So Mark asked a question. Nate, will you and your dad make cutting boards from the tap stain maple log? There's a good chance. There's a good chance. Because there's a lot from that log that isn't tap stained. So, yeah, there's a good chance. We do need to get some footage of my dad making cutting boards for sure.
We have footage. We have old
Me
footage.
too.
It just never got put into a video. There's a lot of footage that just doesn't make the cut.
That's true. We have a couple episodes that we started and just never made it into an episode.
Never came to fruition.
We're up to 28 people.
It's fantastic.
Getting the central time zone folks and people from different time zones jumping in.
For those of you that are joining us within the last however many minutes it's been, hi, I'm Jacob, and I edit the videos for Nathan over here. And this is Nathan.
I'm Nate.
He's the star of the Bissell Maple Farm YouTube channel.
And Jacob edits, what, on average, hours to make a 20, 30-minute video.
Lots and lots of Nathan's face.
It's true. I love Samantha's line.
It's a good line.
You look at that man's face a little too much.
I look at his face maybe more than hers.
I think that was her.
That's her point. I'm sorry, darling. I love you.
So what else do we have? What is the most surprising thing about the maple industry? Like, you really didn't know much.
I knew nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've been most impressed by is how products get reused over and over again. So like the story of the barrel to me is really fascinating. Excuse me, because the barrel goes from being used by, a whiskey distillery to being used by Bissell maple syrup to being used by Goose Island to being used by, you were talking with,
I got the shirt on.
what's his name?
Grist House in Pittsburgh, right?
Oh yeah, Grist House.
Grist House.
Grist House.
We dropped off some
The
to them.
The maplest beer ever, which I cannot wait to try. But the sustainability aspect of it is really interesting to me. I was really fascinated by the RO, and I didn't expect to be fascinated by that, but just like, how do we get sugar water out of a tree and turn it into maple syrup? And I was surprised by how much water content is in there.
Oh man.
It is a lot of water. So having to put it through the RO in order to extract the water from sugar and then boil that down to make maple syrup was very surprising to me. And then the other thing that I found very fascinating is that, and I've been thinking about this now more with other like companies that make food products specifically, is I think we take for granted as consumers how the production chain works and how as a business you're constantly working to try to produce a consistent product even when other spots in the supply chain are failing or are having difficulty producing, especially through COVID, getting enough supplies. And so that's been fascinating to me, is seeing how a company can produce a consistent product when what they're getting to produce it isn't consistent.
That's a good point. It was hard last year for sure. There's still some hiccups for sure. Let's see. Now we kind of nervous. Do you know what our most popular video is so far?
I do. I found out before this. It's the Dan Reed video.
It is episode 27.
Episode number 27. This man knows a lot about sawmills.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does.
He emailed me the other day because he watched the video of me trying to turn a log, and he was like,
The funniest, by the way, if you haven't seen that episode, you need to. The funniest moment in any YouTube video I think I've ever seen, but especially on this channel,
Episode 50. It's the last one.
is episode 50. You have to see that. And it's in the first third of the video. So if you've not seen episode 50 yet, you need to go watch episode 50 because you will laugh your head off. And I thought about doing like the instant replay thing, but I figured people would just double tap and just watch it over and over and over again. Because that is exactly what I did when I was editing it.
Scott's right.
Yeah, the reaction is fantastic.
That's right. I think he even mentioned it. He was like, that sucks.
Yeah, it was
It's authentic.
really funny.
What is it? There's some people that watch the episodes. I remember Kyle Switlick out in Wisconsin was telling me, he's like, you put it all out there.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hide
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube channels, and some of them, they're almost like unreal. Like, their tractors are never dirty. There's not even mud in the tires.
Yeah.
The ATVs are all perfect. And I'm just like, how do they do this? Like, we actually use this stuff. I think, you know, some of it is a little too production-y. Like, you know, how can you have a Kubota that's like perfect?
Yeah.
And like, we use the thing.
Yeah.
I'm just jealous. They just take good. They probably have people that go power wash everything when they're done.
Yeah. What did F-Stick Mitch say?
So that is my cousin Mitchell.
Hi, Mitchell.
He's talking about how much Facebook can do for us. Now, I will tell you like why YouTube is my preferred.
Your cup of tea.
I'll admit it. Social media.
Yeah.
Who is? Is he? Bill Kerfoot, our old neighbor.
Hi, Bill.
He's on. He must be on Facebook.
Yes.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Big fan of our syrup for sure. And what was I going to say? I forgot.
Why?
Oh, why I like YouTube.
Yes. Why?
Facebook is like forcing us to pay money to reach people. YouTube wants people to watch our videos, so they'll actually promote it. Facebook, when we first started with Facebook, like you could grow quick and you would get a lot of followers. And now it's like, if you want followers, you have to give us money.
Yeah.
It's so, if I paid hundreds of dollars a month in marketing, like I was explaining to another maple syrup packager the other day, he was talking about his marketing budget. My marketing budget is zero. It's YouTube. It's it. Like we don't really have a marketing budget. And if I put all my energy and time into Facebook, they're making you pay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Facebook. It's the truth. Whereas with YouTube, they're like, hey, this is pretty interesting. We're going to suggest this video if you're watching out of the woods. I like that channel. I watch Sawing with Sandy. There's channels that I like.
Yeah.
So they'll suggest us.
Maybe you'll like this channel.
Maybe you'll like this. I think honestly, Nikki Boxler sends me more viewers. I look at the stats.
Yeah.
Like, thank you, Nikki. Like she sends way more viewers to us than anybody. It's like, it's not even close.
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it. And thank you, Chris. I appreciate your comment.
Chris, where are you from?
That means a lot to me.
I like to know where people are.
We are trying to make great videos. We're trying our best.
This is a question on. Yeah, I don't do hearts. Likes and hearts.
He doesn't do hard.
No. I'm old, man. Let's see. What is the question on UF filters and maple nectar? Oh, this is where they're taking. They're actually taking sap and they're running it to such high concentration that they're calling it nectar. So it hasn't been really boiled. I think it's genius if they can get teachers to just buy that and make syrup in their classrooms. Like if you were going to look for a place to sell maple nectar, it would be science teachers. Like you could sell that, think about how much work. They're going to come home and be like, I made a gallon of syrup. It was easy.
Yeah.
It was easy. I put it on the Bunsen burner and I made syrup. I don't know what these maple farmers are doing.
Why are they so upset?
Always talking about how it's hard. It's not hard. I made it with a Bunsen burner. The maple dude. Tim's on.
You too can make maple syrup
Tim.
with a Bunsen burner.
The maple dude.
Hi, Tim.
Yeah, he agrees with me. Like if you
Thanks, Tim.
try to, he's a business owner. They just want you to pay money.
Lawyer's watching on Facebook.
Yeah, he's like watching both.
Double.
Yeah, Matt's
Thanks,
a huge-
Matt. Do you have
I
any
think
other-
people have like, I don't Facebook. Like convincing somebody that likes Pepsi to like Coke or Coke to like Pepsi. I mean, I like YouTube. One of the reasons I did this is I don't want somebody telling my story for me. And what I have found is the control of information in the maple industry. It's all about keeping information. And I don't want that. I want you to see everything, because if you're like, no, you said this thing about Nate, and then I watched his channel, I'm like, no, he's not that way. Like, I didn't want somebody being able to tell my story for me.
Right.
And I'm amazed at what people believe. What's the saying? It's like, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Yeah.
None of what you hear and
I
half
thought
of
it was
what
half of what you see and none of what you
Is it? I said none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Yeah,
Is that what I said?
yeah.
I just switched it. I said it in the wrong order. So, yeah. It's more clear on Facebook. Now, Mitchell, are you talking about the sound or the camera? I'm thinking the camera is more clear. Oh, I just talked to Andy today. Andy Sipple.
Oh, Andy.
Video quality. Yeah.
Yeah, video quality is
That's
better on
the,
Facebook.
So I got this laptop here, and I've got my cell phone here, and the Samsung is definitely. I film almost all.
Everything is on the Samsung. Yeah. We tried using a Canon for a little while, and I just didn't like the coloration of the Canon with the Samsung. So I love the coloration on the Samsung. It looks beautiful.
Like we have a really nice EOS, Canon. It's an EOS 50.
Yep.
Like it was what everybody recommended.
I prefer the Samsung.
It was almost too confusing when I was using all the different cameras.
It was a lot.
So Scott said, Kathy Jo, tell Kathy Jo that if she wants to contribute, she needs to get in the video.
She did.
You missed it, Scott.
You missed it, man.
You're gonna have to rewind, buddy.
You're going to have to go back
It's like
to
a
that.
shooting star. You don't get to see it often.
That's what makes Kathy Jo fabulous. She is a shooting star. Heart you, friend.
He's a funny dude. Like I love Tim's videos. He said, I make tens of dollars on YouTube. It's true. Tens of dollars. Yeah, he's got some really good ones. I still don't know how he got away with using Whip It in his maple cream video.
Do.
Yeah. I'm like watching this. I'm like, they would totally take this down if I did it. But if you're the maple dude, they're like, yeah, it's the maple dude. Let him do it.
I just realized something. I just realized that the lick from Whip It is also the beginning of Pretty Woman.
Roy Orbison.
It's the same notes.
I believe you.
Da 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 da.
You would know.
There it is.
Your Aunt Joan just said YouTube is way better.
Awesome.
Everyone go to Bissell Maple and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you, Aunt Joan. Thank you, Aunt Joan.
And thank
I was hoping my grandma would.
thank you again.
I
to
saw she
everyone
said
who's
she
on here.
might be here, but a lot of why I do this, or I feel there's a connection to my grandfather for sure with the music, and he was such a supporter of what we did, and such an encourager. We miss him greatly, but with the music and his influence on Mitchell, myself, all the grandsons, granddaughters. Every time I make an episode, I'm like, my grandfather, he would love this.
Yeah.
So every time there's banjo, fiddle, he would absolutely love this if he could see it. So it's one of those things where it's like, man, I miss my grandfather. This is one of the ways that we honor him for sure.
It's awesome.
Somebody named Reed Moon said they're one of your many followers.
That's my father.
Well, it's entertaining and you learn stuff.
He's on Facebook.
Hello, son.
Hello, Papa. I love you, Papa. I hope I'm making you proud on social media.
I still don't think YouTube's social media.
And you got a subscriber.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Rick Plunkett subscribed to you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Rick.
Rick.
We appreciate you for subscribing.
I'm having fun. I'd keep going.
And Bill Perfect said hello there, neighbor.
Bill, good to see you.
Every
I know he's on
subscription
Facebook.
counts. Hi.
What do we got? I'm out of questions. You got questions? What do you got?
Well, there was a question on Facebook that said, your kitchen is beautiful. Just curious, why don't you have backsplash?
Who did you pay to say it? Bissell Maple Farm. Why don't you have a backsplash?
He said, your kitchen is beautiful. Just curious why you don't have
That's
a
probably Taylor or Jessica using our Facebook account.
That's fantastic.
It's true. Like this kitchen has been in renovation since March of 2020, and we've lived here how many years? 8 years.
8 years.
And we started with the renovation, and then COVID happened. We didn't have a kitchen for how long?
long time.
I remember hearing about it at the lunchroom.
We didn't have a kitchen for so long. We didn't have a kitchen for so long that when I went to the doctor and he checked my blood work, he's like, "You're gonna need some vitamin D," and I'm like, "That's it." Like I haven't had a kitchen. I've lived off Chinese food and pizza for like 2 years, and you're saying all I need is
A little bit of vitamin D.
Like, isn't there like cholesterol or something in there? Because I don't eat healthy at all. He's like, no, vitamin D.
That's all you need.
It's good genes. It's good genes.
Matt has a question. What is Matt saying?
Matt just said Kathy Joe is the reason he's a fan of Bissell Maple Farm because she's a fabulous first grade teacher.
True.
And because first grade rocks.
Oh, that
It's
was
true.
nice. Thank you, Mr. Wayers.
It's the truth.
Kevin website.
She is a
Kevin.
She is a fabulous first grade teacher. I can vouch for her.
Kevin, you'll see some of his vehicles in the background in some of our future videos.
Ooh.
I didn't want to give away anything.
Keep that under wraps.
I have heard about the Milwaukee heat guns. You can use a cordless battery, and you can use it to unfreeze things
Oh, nice.
for sure.
We did have a few issues with freezing this year.
A lot of issues. Probably the most common question I get in person was, why don't you just replace that tank? And I do have one. And no, like I tell you, I didn't want to go through the effort. Like I have one sitting there at the plant, and I'm like, no.
Don't feel like it. Hashtag Milwaukee all the way.
What else we got? That's coming on. That's an hour, dude.
I guess if I had any questions for you, it would be similar to what you asked me. How have you felt about the channel and what we've done since October?
I felt like it was at the beginning really hard, like learning. It actually helped me once I started editing videos to understand what would help you.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is hard. And then I simplified how I did things.
Yep.
And it was like one weekend, I'm like, I'm going to learn how to edit. And I don't think I slept for 2 days. And I just learned how to edit. And it helped me understand what you had to go through. But the first 25 videos are really hard.
Yeah.
I will admit I watch them. Like my favorite video is always the last video that Jacob made. So I always watch that video. Like I just enjoy it. It's been good. Like you're honest. You're just like, Nate, no one wants to watch it. You're right.
Sorry, man.
I'm like, what about that bit where didn't make the cut. He
Didn't
just
make the
says
cut.
didn't make the cut. And you know what? It's end of story. I'm like, okay.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that you trust me with that. And hopefully,
Because most of the people that are watching aren't maple producers.
Right. And so having a person that's not a maple producer that isn't precious about it, you know what I mean? Coming from it from just a standpoint, like a lay person's point of view. What's going to be the most interesting thing that we can put up here? And yeah, rolling a stone up a hill.
No one wants to watch that.
Nobody wants to watch that. Unless it rolls back on you. Then
it's on there.
that's gold.
Yeah, if the log falls on you, it's going on.
Episode number 50. Check that out. Was that 50 or 51?
It's 50.
It's 50.
So we actually have more people watching than we have so far. I think people are done.
All right. Samantha, is Jacob as critical on you as KJ?
My wife is not critical of me at all. Neither one of them are. The most critical person in my life is probably me.
Tim.
He's like, be careful.
I mean, my mom calls me out all the time. She's not wrong either. Like, she calls me out. It's like, God, you're right. It's irritating. Yeah, my wife is supportive. for sure.
It is true. Very
20 years.
Very, very,
we've
very
lived off of my
supportive,
wife's
yes.
income for 20 years. Like every dime I've ever made has gone into our maple syrup company.
And probably Samantha said, and probably the boys.
As far as critical, are the boys critical? Yeah, my sons do not cut me slack.
No, they don't.
Jonathan does not cut me slack at all. Like he's straight up like,
He'll tell you.
yeah.
Thank you, Mark, by the way. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. If there's any questions about maple syrup, like this was our first test. I wanted to do this. Hopefully I'll have new light fixtures up the next time. My wife puts a black backsplash, so we actually have light switch covers. It's the goal to kind of finish this kitchen up.
So hopefully the next live stream, whenever that is, this will look
A little better. Live from Nate Bissell's kitchen.
live from Nate Bissell's kitchen.
Gary, there's a cousin.
Hi, Gary.
Your Uncle Jim's on too.
Oh, sweet.
Hi, Jim.
Uncle Jim. Yeah, a lot of family.
Now Dan Brown is watching.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Which Dan Brown? I know 2 Dan Browns.
Dan Brown.
Area code 740 or area code 440?
How am I supposed to know that? Oh, that's his name. She's okay. Now he's not watching it.
The author of the Da Vinci Code.
Dan, where'd you go?
He left.
Started throwing out areas.
Thank you, Mitch. We appreciate it. On Facebook. That last little jab, Mitch. I love that.
That's good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, this is the most people we've had. I'm good with going. Like, you can do this as long as you want. I'm good with it. You got something to do. We need questions, though.
We do need questions. We are all out of questions.
Yeah, like I only had like this notebook here. So,
We answered them all.
yeah.
We got to them all.
Maple syrup questions. I can't believe I haven't got a bulk maple syrup price question. Like I totally expected that. I'm sure people are watching this. I'm sure competitors are watching this. Like, good for you, man. I would too.
Oh, your brother's best friend.
Hmm.
Dan Brown.
Okay. Diggity Dan.
Diggity
Hi,
Dan.
Diggity Dan.
What is the next move?
Good night, Matt.
Night, Matt.
Somebody asked the next move.
Yeah, Mitch.
I don't know.
You need a PhD to understand bulk pricing.
Now, he stole that from me.
Oh, okay.
You need a PhD in economics to understand
Bulk
how
pricing.
people pay for bulk syrup. It's ridiculous. You get 2 cents if it's a waxing or waning moan. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, it's ridiculous.
Scott just said true.
Yeah.
What are you guys getting for per pound for bulk syrup?
How much am I getting? I don't sell it.
That's from David in upstate New York. Hi, David.
I am currently not buying any. Most of the syrup that I need is already allocated to, from farmers. I can tell you there's a lot of syrup out there. One thing that I've learned is the more I think I know about syrup, the more I realize I don't know. I could have sworn I thought syrup would be worth $3 a pound. Everybody was telling me syrup's going to be worth $3 a pound. I foresee the price of bulk syrup actually going down. I'm surprised it hasn't. There's just so much. And then I told everybody that even if growth is at 0, it's going to feel like we lost market share as a maple industry. So it's starting to, are you going to fill your gas tank or are you going to buy maple syrup for your pancakes? On the retail side, maple syrup, I think, is going to feel like it's contracting, even though it's probably going to be 0 growth. Jared has a good question. I don't want my wife to hear this question. Have you thought of making a video? Have you thought of making a video of making syrup on a homestead level?
Yes, we have thought of it.
Maybe you already have. These two are educators, and pretty much by episode 3, they're like, you should make a video that teaches people how to make maple syrup.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for sticking that knife in there for me, Jared. They've been on me about it.
We have.
You didn't know. You didn't know.
It would be a fabulous episode.
Your intro has a question.
Where is it?
Where can we find Bissell maple syrup in grocery stores or other places?
That's a really good question.
Depends on the grocery store you shop in.
Every Meijer in Ohio. So if you ever shop at Meijer, which Meijer grocery stores in Ohio. You can get us at every Meijer. There are select Giant Eagles that you can find Bissell maple syrup. Who else?
Are you at D'Onofrio's?
We're in Pennsylvania here. Yeah, D'Onofrio's. There's some independent grocers that carry our maple syrup.
Can you buy it online?
You can definitely buy it online. Now, Taylor, she has been really working hard to increase our web presence to sell online. Jared said, "You're welcome. You're welcome."
Thanks, Jared.
What's his
What's name? Was he a teacher? I think I remember him. I had your wife as a teacher also.
In Austinburg has it.
I don't know.
You can buy it at Web Winery.
Web Winery for sure. In the Shenango Valley here, Web Winery.
Is Sarf talking about me?
I don't know.
Hi, Sarf. I'm Jacob.
What's his name?
I was a
he
teacher. I am a teacher. I'm currently a teacher. And you had my wife as a teacher also. So now I want to know who Sarf is.
Yeah, me too.
Because my wife did if Sarf is a former Sharpsville student, then Sarf may have seen me around when I was a band director. And at that time, my wife was a substitute teacher.
True.
So it is completely possible. But I don't know who Sarf is. But hello, Sarf.
Hello. So Maple Dude, at what price per gallon of gas will people really start altering their lifestyle? I think it's actually affecting, like for me, I'm doing a lot more meetings online than actually driving to work because it's like $37 for me. I live an hour from the Maple facility. So it's, it's a lot of gas.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Yes, I went to Sharpsville. My name is Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Awesome. So, John, I just started this. Hello, John. Where are you from?
Hi, John. Thanks for joining us, John. We're glad you're here.
I watched a lot of videos on turning vegetable oil into diesel today, or biodiesel. That would be cool.
It's already altering our lifestyle.
It is altering.
Because we got agitated about baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like rain out. Like you drive an hour for a baseball game and
Oh, yeah.
potential rain out.
Travel sports
I
is
didn't
no
see
joke.
Josh on here.
No, he's not here.
I'm surprised.
Oh, Josh.
Josh.
So, you know what? When he watches this in the morning, he can giggle at me. Said his name.
Hi, Josh.
Do you carry product in Virginia? At one point, the first grocery store to actually give us a shot was Wegmans, actually,
Huh.
out of Rochester. So the first time I ever sold a pallet of maple syrup, it was to Wegmans. And that was in Virginia.
Pressing.
Hey,
syrup
Uncle
through
Gary.
filter.
Well, I have two Uncle Garys. This is Gary Richards.
Hi, Uncle Gary.
Pressing syrup through the filter. Are you talking about when we blew it and it hit the ceiling? Like when you first get a filter press, you don't know. Yeah, it's like a laser. It just coated this whole ceiling.
Ooh.
There's so many good stories. I'm so glad my family jumped in. This is the most people we've had.
It's huge. We've got 28 folks.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Questions, throw them out there. I love it. Open forum.
It is an open forum.
Nothing about organic or non-organic. I'm good with that too.
Organic maple syrup.
Yep.
Non-organic maple syrup?
Yep.
What is the difference?
Conventional. About $2,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
It's like a tax.
Huh. Okay. Is there any significant difference in the product?
No.
Hmm.
No. A label. Like legally you can call it organic.
Okay.
What else you got?
That covers that.
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
We need questions, guys. If you got a burning question.
Love that answer.
Well, to be fair, in Ohio, Pennsylvania, maple producing states, you see it made, you know it's on trees, you know there's nothing added.
Yeah.
But if you're from Arizona, you have no idea how maple syrup's made for the most part. You grew up out there. So there's even a good friend, John, lives in Portland. He's like, listen, I've been out to the out west, like if it's not organic, the bottle's dusty, even if it's cheaper. And there's just a certain trust with that label.
Huh.
For sure. I love this question by Tim. Why do you think most maple producers do not raise their prices despite all the cost of production input rising? This is one of those lessons that I had to learn is you don't buy it. Maple farmers don't buy it. Every now and then we'll get somebody that comes in that's a maple producer and they'll scoff at bourbon barrel aged maple. I never buy that. It's usually their wife or something like, I never buy bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Me either. Like maple farmers don't buy it. You're not the customer. Until you realize you're not the customer, you're making decisions as if you were the customer and you're not. So oftentimes it's that fear of rejection. I think it's the perspective, understanding that you're not the customer. Maple farmers don't buy syrup. I don't buy syrup. My kids get maple syrup. I don't have to pay for it. It's in my refrigerator.
You do have to pay for it.
I do. I do buy it. It's true.
She
It's a
does.
terrible thing to say in front of my wife.
She does.
We do buy our syrup. But yeah, we're not the customer. But we only think it's called your paradigm. You see the world as you see yourself. So you only look at things through your eyes. And farmers have a hard time. It's infinite value in all reality. So pricing syrup, I don't think maple farmers should price their own syrup. I don't. We're terrible at it. I'm terrible at it.
There's an interesting parallel between that and having a non-maple farmer produce your videos.
Exactly. The trying to be right all the time. That is, if I've learned anything in the last 5 years, the hard lessons is trying to be right. Like, smartest man in the world's only right 50% of the time. I'm not the smartest man in the world. So his brain and my brain together, at least we'll be closer to potentially getting the right answer. Then you get 5 people that are willing to understand or willing to work together. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
Unwilling to listen and more interested in being right than the fear of actually being wrong. I'm on a board with some really smart people. I'm the dumbest person on the board. You know what they go? They're like, Nate, what do you think? I'm like, me? Like,
Yeah.
you're the CEO of a steel mill. Like,
Yeah.
what do you need my opinion? They actually want different perspectives. They don't want to potentially miss an angle that somebody else sees. So that's a long-winded way of saying we are terrible at pricing syrup. Good question.
There you go.
Had some buddies make a couple gallons of maple syrup this year in Tennessee. One of the things I'm looking forward to is going down and visiting Jared and actually seeing sorghum molasses made. We're going to make a video on that.
Huh.
I think it's going to be awesome. And I cannot wait. I've already kind of planned out like how dark sorghum syrup is and then tasted it and being like, I'm sorry. I only like golden delicate. I can't eat your dark molasses, Jared. Like bunch of big Southern boys down there. I'm sorry. My tongue can only grace the only golden delicate syrup. You Southern boys, I can't taste your molasses. I can't wait to do that. Cousin Gary got a question. Where is it? How many gallons does it take to make one bottle? And how much time does it take? I can't stand that every spring some news station does a story and somebody like throws out a number. It takes 50 gallons to make 1 gallon. It takes 40. It takes 60. You know what the truth is? It changes all the time.
Yeah.
So you can do an average for the year. Sometimes in Wisconsin, it takes like 3 gallons for some reason to make a gallon of syrup. They have the sweetest trees I've ever seen. But in Ohio, we tap red maples. It can take up to 87 gallons. It changes. So the rule is, it's used to be called the rule of 86, but they've refined it. Now it's called the rule of 87.1. You take 87.1, divide it by your sugar content. So if it's 1 Brix, that would be how much sugar is in a gallon of sap. It would mean that it takes 87.1 gallons to make a gallon of maple syrup. Sometimes at the beginning of the season, the end of the season, the Brix comes in, it's like 0.8. It's not even 1.
Yeah.
We call it sorghum. It's true. I can't wait to do a video on it. I'm going to make fun of every maple farmer and their, I only like the light syrup. In order to raise the price of table syrup, there would have to be research broadcasted widely how bad processed sugar is for you. Sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, truth is maple syrup obviously has minerals and stuff that's good for you.
But it's sugar.
Calcium. Yeah, it's still sugar added to your diet. Where did I get the idea to do bourbon barrel aged maple syrup? Awesome question.
It's a good story.
It is. Irv Gingrich in Middlefield, Ohio, called me up and said, Nate, I know you make barbecue sauce. We have a bunch of maple syrup out here. Well, when you come out and try it, it has like a lemon flavor. And all this syrup there was like $25,000 worth of syrup, and it was in these plastic plastic drums. They were white. And these guys in Kentucky got food grade plastic drums. They washed them out really good, to make sure they got it all out, and then put this hot syrup in these drums, and it previously held like an artificial lemon flavor, like Dum Dum Sucker, like floor soap lemon. Like it wasn't like natural lemon. So you taste the syrup, and it was like, whoa, tastes like a Dum Dum Sucker. And I just remember like being like heartbroken for them, because you're in Kentucky. You could have just got some bourbon barrels. At least it would have added to the value of the syrup. And that's kind of where the first idea came from, driving home from Middlefield, Ohio, going, holy crap, those guys just blew a bunch of money because they were trying to save money.
Yeah.
That was the idea. And then Bourbon County Stout, obviously the beer craze, aging beer in bourbon barrels, which, we are heavily involved in that. What is the question from my wife?
From Mr. Moon's dad.
Read.
Yes.
Well, when you say Mr. Moon, that's my dad.
Mr. Moon.
Mr. Moon.
Big Mr. Moon.
Mr. Moon.
Nate, tell me about any memories you have of your grandfather's work ethic.
Ooh, which one? Both of them hard workers. So Carl on my dad's side, and then John on my mom's side. Carl played the violin. John played the fiddle. They were neighbors. Actually, that's how my parents met. So growing up, they would write love notes to each other, like, to my old neighbor, right? You. So the work ethic, both of them. Just my grandfather. I remember the first house my wife and I bought. I talked to my grandfather. I'm like, we're going to buy a duplex. It's live in one side, rent out the other. And my grandfather, just both of them. My Carl had an apple orchard, and he was working that apple orchard into his 80s. But both of them, holy cow. Yeah, that work ethic definitely transferred down to their kids and grandkids, for sure. What do you remember? My grandfather would show up, before shows, set the speakers up. Everything was labeled, meticulous. Yeah. Lowest, highest expectable sugar content for syrup. There's a shift. In the state of Ohio, 66 bricks is the minimum sugar content for maple syrup. Each state kind of has their own law. I know in Vermont, it's 66.9. I heard they make syrup in Vermont. And they wanted to make it 66.9. Sorghum is a little better than 10-1. Made 71. I believe that.
Mitch is having a good time tonight.
He is.
Thanks, Mitch.
I don't know what I said that was funny, but everything was labeled. Definitely. There's a John P. Fisher address label on everything he owns. You guys are picking up viewers.
Looks like you're going to be streaming for a while. Hopefully not too late.
Kevin. If you haven't checked out Kevin's channel, Bionic Life, like Kevin, we talk often. You know, he's doing some cool things. He's been running a chisel plow, you know, just turning earth. Like, it's amazing what farmers have to do right now with the cost of diesel.
Mm.
Am I understanding that you make your bourbon maple syrup in charred barrels instead of infusing actual bourbon or a mix of both? That's an awesome question.
Yeah.
It's a pet peeve of mine that there are some inferior products out there. And every farmer, not every farmer, I'm sorry. There are farmers that do it right. There are people that do it right and legit. And there are people that dump bourbon and maple syrup. And there is a lot more splinters involved when you use those barrels. The wood splinters are not the worst. It's the metal splinters from the hoops that actually get you. But yes, we use a bourbon barrel one time. I wish there was some legislation that would protect the people that do it legit. But there isn't. I mean, the maple industry is small. Maple industry can't even self-police the quality of maple syrup on a shelf, let alone bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Like, we can't even get, but I think half of the maple syrup on the store shelf is the wrong grade from the label. According to the University of Vermont, in my opinion, they've done some studies. Not all maple syrup is created equal. That's true. Not all bourbon barrel. It's true. I tell everybody, like, the best maple syrup I've ever had, it's the Goodell family in Manaway, Ohio. They won the international maple syrup contest so many times they just stop entering. They're just like, look, when you're the best in the world, like 7-8 years, like, let's just let somebody else do it.
Give somebody else a turn.
And they're so humble. They're quiet. They're humble. It's the best maple syrup I've ever had.
Wow.
How is the alcohol removed from the barrel? We drink it, Uncle Gary. That's how we do. Nate, your road trip partner, Fred, is he family? He is family. Yes and no. He is another dad to me for sure. He loves me like a son, and I love him like a dad for sure. Fred's been with me 10 years through the ups and downs. And I love going on road trips with Fred. He lets me vent. He tells me when I'm a knucklehead. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I love your road trips with Fred because Fred does not suffer your filming very long.
Well, neither does Ralph.
Neither does Ralph.
Somebody mentioned Phil. They love Phil definitely. It's fun to film.
Yeah.
He's got a voice for it.
A lot of great characters. Good people.
I miss Dino. I got some good videos of Dino.
Yeah.
I used to sing to him. I haven't even shown those videos yet, but I used to laugh. We do need that one. That's a good short. Somebody mentioned shorts. That would be a good short.
Did we ever put that video up of you singing? What was it that you were singing on the lift?
I run my scissor lift.
I run my scissor lift at night.
Yeah.
Did you ever put that out?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my. Missed opportunity. That was a good.
That's a good short.
That is a good short. It couldn't make an entire video, but it is a good short.
Man, I didn't think we'd get this much. This many people watching.
We've been on here for an hour and a half, and we ran out of questions for me about 40 minutes ago.
That's true.
So thank you, everyone, for being here with us. We do appreciate it.
Oh, look at Mitchell. I thought about asking you to bring if you had an acoustic bass. I don't know if you have an acoustic bass.
I don't.
We need to do a little jam.
Jam sounds awesome.
I like your names as well, like Sapsquatch. Name of the tank.
That was one of my favorite bits, and in which one of the lakes is not represented.
True.
That was another Austin video. Those videos with Austin, they're gold.
So Denise says, Maple Mike. Yeah, Maple Mike's my wingman.
Maple Mike. Yep.
There's no one that's done more all-nighters with me than Maple Mike and Fred. Confession, I've never, ever liked maple syrup. The reason is because it is artificial flavoring. Oh, Denise, I'm going to have to correct you on that one. Maple syrup is a whole food. There are no ingredients. There are artificial maple.
You got to read the rest of the
comment. Oh, let's see.
My parents brought me real maple syrup from Vermont years ago, and now I can say I do like the real deal. Okay,
Here it is.
listen, it's common. People will call artificial syrup maple syrup. It's common.
It's not the same.
Table syrup.
Not even
Table syrup, pancake syrup, boiled down Pepsi.
Yes. It's probably Bissell maple syrup.
Ah, jeez. Giving me jabs. Cool. How are we picking up people still?
I don't know. But thanks.
Maybe they're just laying there in bed.
Thank you for being here. Beat me at 4-H carnival shooting contest. We convinced he cheated. Okay, maybe not. I think I wouldn't go against Austin
Me
in
either.
any sort of contest. Any contest. I wouldn't go up against Austin. I'd be afraid of him beating me and everything.
Good question from Steven.
Ooh.
Not sure if you guys make maple cream. If so, have you tried making bourbon maple cream? We just launched a cinnamon infused cream.
Sounds delicious.
What I figured out early on was the flavor was held in the water molecule. And when you make, first time I tried to make maple sugar out of bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, we made it and then it tasted like maple sugar
Huh.
because you boil all the water off. It's the actual water molecule that actually holds the flavor from the oak barrel. So cream, I could see actually holding some of the bourbon flavor
Huh.
because there's still some residual cream, water
There's water, yeah.
with the cream.
Fascinating.
How many new subscribers since the beginning of the live stream? I don't know. We started with 777, but who's counting?
Kathy Joe, can you fact check us?
How many subscribers you have?
We had 777 at the beginning of this live stream.
Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm going.
Kathy Joe's doing
Do you
the work.
make maple extract? We get asked that a lot, Samantha.
Asking for someone who likes to bake using maple. Asking for someone who likes to bake.
784.
What?
You got 7 subscribers.
We got 7 subscribers.
Jeez.
For just sitting at a table and
We didn't do
chatting.
this for 10 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that'll get us to the 1,000 mark.
You got 7.
Samantha, we've gotten 7, not 5.
We got 7. It's fantastic. I don't know
It is.
why.
Why are you still watching us, people? Like, don't you have, like, are you laying there in bed? Like, let's watch this maple farmer and this music teacher talk.
we can turn this into an ASMR video. Very soft
I
sounds
just
to
heard
help
what
you
that
go to
was the other
sleep.
day.
No, you can't. I do like my husband. He does the laundry.
Who does the laundry?
I do the laundry. I'm the laundry guy.
Everybody go like the video if you have not already. We have 20 likes. That's pretty
Thank you.
Not all of us go to bed.
We have 22 likes and 23. That means that only one person does not like this.
Yeah. That's okay.
It was me. I didn't.
Kathy Joe's the only person that doesn't like this. Oh, we have 24 viewers now. That's funny how the viewership goes up and down and up and down.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool that we saw some people that are, I call them maple tubers. You know, we kind of have a little community of maple tubers. I noticed that the firewood folks kind of all talk and collaborate, and that was successful for them. So I've tried to get some maple tubers to collaborate because I think it actually helps everybody. John Lumber.
John Lundberg. What makes maple syrup dark?
That's a good question. Somebody was just talking about this to me today. Most of the time, it's the sap will have more bacteria, and if it takes longer to process sap, what's interesting is the maple industry is making lighter and lighter and lighter syrup. We process faster. The equipment, guys are going to steam, which doesn't get as high of a temperature as a flame under a pan. The industry is making lighter and lighter syrup. However, consumers that are moving from, say, artificial pancake syrup or sorghum, it's a darker, stronger flavor. It's an easier gateway maple to go from sorghum to the darker flavors than it is to go from sorghum to
Lighter.
good and delicate. So it's more it's an easier transition. So especially in the Southeast where we work with Maple Street Biscuit Company, and the dark robust that we make for them is well received.
You didn't answer the question.
I didn't answer the question.
What makes it darker? You said bacteria.
Yeah, bacteria.
Yeah, but it happens later in the season.
Well, typically later in the season, it's warmer, so there's more bacteria.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you're right. I didn't answer the question. I do that sometimes.
Part of it is the caramelization process of boiling too. You were talking about the steam, but the reason the steam makes lighter is because it's faster.
It's faster. It's a lower temperature.
It's not caramelizing.
Yeah.
Can you all hear Kathy Joe?
I wonder if they can hear her just scold me.
Oh, you didn't answer the guy's.
I thought of a question, and then there's a question on there, but I did think of a question for you. How do I get my hands on Golden Delicate maple syrup? Because it is something that I would.
You
like
want to try it?
I do.
We are going to do an episode on grading. I think that would be interesting. We all know who is in charge.
You didn't answer Jacob's question either.
What? How do I get? I'll bring some for you.
There you go. You just got to know somebody to get
It's
Golden
true.
Delicate. Golden Delicate. Talk about Cleveland show with Maple Mike.
Yeah. Maple Mike is often asked to go to Cleveland. Was it New Day Cleveland?
Yeah.
They like Mike. He does a great job interacting with the host of the show. Always is fun. Mike and I typically will make a trip out of it. We'll go do the show in the morning. He usually preps either really early in the morning or at night. He'll make something unique, crepes or I don't know. He's like a chef. And then we'll go hang out in Cleveland for a little while because Maple Mike deserves it. Talk about maple stiltskin. Gosh, I got a lot of heat from that from the maple industry. And then everybody's like, we'll do it. We just don't tell anybody. We all do it. We just don't put it out there for people to know about it. What does your loose video mean, Uncle Gary?
UVM is still working on getting to the bottom of what make it dark, as far as I know, from Steven.
Well, you can make it dark. Here's what I know. Oftentimes, guys that use firewood that run their syrup deeper can make it a little bit darker. Any tubing installers in Western PA that you recommend? How far in Western PA? Because Austin and I would be glad to do some tubing installation.
And they're in Western PA.
It's true.
We are
currently sitting in Western
in
Pennsylvania.
Western PA.
I think he's in Grove City,
Right here.
if I remember.
Slippery Rock. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
right down the road.
That would be Austin, Fred, myself.
I would recommend me, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Just no bias there.
None whatsoever. Do you suppose Buddy Chief would make an appearance on the live stream?
No. Guess I'm a maple tuber now. I love it. I coined the phrase, maple tuber. I like it.
Maple tuber. We need T-shirts.
It's true.
Maple tuber T-shirts.
Be a good kid.
Who's a good Buddy Chief?
You're gonna be good. You're gonna be on.
Scott, here's the moment you've been waiting for.
There she is.
Kathy Joe and
The cat.
Buddy Chief.
His real name is Chief Kumar because I wanted an Indian.
Oh my goodness! Don't say that.
What?
Stop it. Seriously, Nathan. No. No.
But Benny changed his name to
Buddy Chief. I like Buddy Chief.
Charlie is in his pen, and I'll tell you why. If your last name is not Bissell, he will try to kill you.
Yes. He looks so sweet and nice on camera. He looks like just the nicest dog ever.
It's true. But he took a chunk out of Austin, and
He did not do that.
He did.
Look at him. There's a difference.
Well, Austin pulled his hand away as his tooth dug into it.
It was really Austin's fault.
It was.
Don't tell people this.
We usually blame
She
Austin.
loves Charlie. Charlie is my wife's dog. That dog would die for her.
We do love Charlie. Charlie
What
is
does
a
the
good dog.
cat weigh? I don't know.
He's a big chunk.
He's a chungus. He's a big guy.
He's big. He's actually lost weight because it's killing the
Yeah,
season.
he's out killing baby bunnies and stuff.
Way to go, buddy chief.
Yep.
Good kitty.
Yeah.
He is a smart dog.
He's a smart dog.
I was very impressed by how like he followed you in the woods, and
Sticks with us.
he does. He sticks with you. He doesn't just run off and do his own thing.
He thinks he's a Bissell boy.
He's a working
He
dog.
thinks he's one of the brothers.
He might as well be.
Kevin's talking about his automatic gun shoot.
Ooh, June 18th.
Yeah. And I don't know. Is it June 18th?
That's what he says.
It's my wife's birthday. I'm actually going to be at, there's another YouTuber down in Chillicothe, Ohio. And Kevin Joe and I are going to go down there and stay.
Woohoo!
It's her birthday. It's my wife's birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's Father's Day.
Actually,
Day before.
19th is Father's Day.
That's my son's birthday, and this year my son's birthday falls on Father's Day, like it did the day he was born.
Thoughts on sap lifters? Yeah, I think we have one property that I have not shown that we manage, something like 118 sap ladders, and it's a nightmare. Every sap ladder uses 1 CFM from your vacuum pump, so we have like 6,500 taps, 7,500 taps, and we run 300 CFM of vacuum there, just because you need 200 CFM just to operate the sap lift or the sap ladders. She would shoot a machine gun for sure.
75.
Well,
Should probably
I'm seeing the decline. I'm good.
Yeah. Is it time?
Yeah.
It's time.
Thanks, everybody.
We appreciate you
We
being
gotta do,
here.
like a nice send-off. You can't
We
just
do
be
need
like,
to do a
okay,
send-off.
well, Bye.
So
Well,
I-
hold on. I mean, the numbers are dwindling.
they are.
It's an hour and 40 minutes.
We've been on here for almost 2 hours. Thank you everyone for
Thank you.
being here. Thank you for joining.
Thanks
If you
for
joined
coming,
late,
Jacob.
my pleasure being here. Thank you for watching our videos.
Get a
commenting.
$50 web camera.
Yeah,
All right. This camera stinks, I guess.
we get it. We do.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
See ya.
Peace.
I'm going to end this one and then end this one.
Bye Facebook.
How do you do it?
Your dad said good night.
My dad did.
Mine. Good night, Papa.